In this video we're going to have a look at long multiplication. So for this first example we've got 29 multiplied by 20. Can I share with you one of the mistakes that some pupils make when they come up to the high school? They would set it out like this, 29 multiplied by 20. And what that means, if you remember, is that means 29 lots of 20. Okay, so what they would do is they would do 0 times 9, which is 0, 2 times 2, which is 4. So therefore 29 lots of 20 is 40. Just think about that for a wee second. Does that make sense? Well, I know that 1 lot of 20 is 20, 2 lots of 20 is 40, 3 lots is 60, 4 lots is 8. See how this makes absolutely no sense here? Okay, so what we can do is we can maybe think about some other strategies here. So what we can do is we can have a look at both of our numbers and we can think, can I split one of my numbers into something that's quite easy to times by? And by easy to times by, I mean like 10, that's really easy to times by, 100 or 1000. So I look at this and think, okay, I can't really do anything to 29, but I could rewrite 20 as 10 times 2. Do you see that? Do you see how 10 times 2 is 20? Okay, so I can rewrite it. So what I can now do is just this in little steps, because I'm going to do 29 times 10, which is 290, and I need to multiply that by 2. And that's something I'll do at the side. 290 multiplied by 2. 2 nothings are nothing, 2 nines are 18, carry the 1, 2 twos are 4 plus the 1 is 5. My final answer is 580. Okay, example 2. 74 multiplied by 60. Okay, so we cannot just set it up like this, 74, oops daisy. We can't set it up just looking like 74 multiplied by 60 like so, because that, like if you do this method it will fall apart. So what we can do is we can look at each of these numbers and we can think, okay, can I split one of them up into something that's easy, i.e. 10, 100, 1000? Well, I can't really split 74 up, but I can split 60 up, because 60 is the same as 10 times 6. There's loads of ways you could have split up 60, but we always want to try and choose the way that's going to be the most straightforward. And we know how to multiply by 10 quite straightforwardly, so we can just do this step here. So that's going to be 740 multiplied by 6, and that's what we're going to do at the side, 740 multiplied by 6. 6 times 0 is 0, 6 fours are 24, remainder 2, 6 sevens are, oh sorry, we carry the 2, 6 sevens are 42, plus 2 is 44. So my final answer is 4,440. One more example, 82 times 900. Okay, so we want to try and split up one of these numbers into something that's easy to multiply by. So I think about 900 and I think, what number can I make, or what numbers can make 900 where one of them is really easy? Well, I know this one. I know that 100 times 9 is easy, and I've chosen that because 100 is easy to multiply by, because this is going to become 8,200 multiplied by 9. And 8,200 multiplied by 9, we do need to work this out probably at the side. 9 zeros, 9 zeros, 9 twos are 18, carry my 1, 9 eights are 72, plus 1, 73. So 73,800. And we can use this strategy quite happily when one of our numbers can be split up into something times 10, or something times 100, or something times 1000. But what we're going to look at now is when we can't do that, because do you see here that in this question 26 multiplied by 32, we cannot split this number up. It's not like I can rewrite 26 as like something times 10. Okay, so when we've got a situation like this, a method that we can use is something called the grid method. And what we do to do the grid method is we imagine this problem as if it were a rectangle. And see my 26. What we do with our 26 is we rewrite it as 20 and 6. Do you see what we've done there? We've split up the tens and the units. And we're going to do the same thing with 32. We're going to split it up into 30 and 2. And then we're going to draw a line down here and a line across here. And you see now that we've got 4 individual sections. What we're going to do is we're going to work out like what is going to go into each of these individual sections by multiplying. Okay, so we're going to multiply. So to work out what goes in here, we're going to do 20 times 30. And here we're going to do 20 times 2. Do you see how I get this? So I'm doing this number times this number to get this number. And this one here, I'm going to multiply 30 and 6. 30 times 6 is 180. And finally in this box down here, I'm going to do 6 times 2. 6 times 2 is 12. No, I should do that in blue. 12. So to work out the total area, all I'm going to do is I'm going to add those 4 values together. I'm going to do 600 plus 180 plus 40 plus 12. That's what going to be 13, carry my 1. So my final answer is 832. So we use this strategy when we can't split our number into easier numbers. Okay, let's have a look at example 2 here. 47 times 53. I can't split any of those into easier numbers, so we're going to use the grid method. 47 will split up into 40 and 7. 53 will split up into 50 and 3. Come down and across, we'll have 4 sections. So to work out what's going to go in here, we're going to do 40 times 50. And here we're going to do 40 times 3. 50 times 7. And 7 times 3. To work out the total area, we add them all together. 2000 plus 350 plus 120 plus 21. That's going to be 2,491. Okay, one final example. 231 multiplied by 53. I can't split any of these up into something that's easy. Okay, so I'm going to draw a grid. But you notice that 231 has got 3 kind of place values. We've got the hundreds, the tens and the units. So we need to split this up into the hundreds, the tens and the units. Do you see that? 230 and 1 is 231. And 53 we split up into 50 and 3. Okay, and we can work out the areas or the value that goes into each of these cells. For this one, I'm going to do 200 times 50. So that's going to be 10,000. 1, 2, 3. Yep. Then I'm going to do 200 times 3, which is 600. I'm going to do 330 times 50. 30 times 50 is 1,500. 30 times 3 is 90. 1 times 50, or 50 times 1. And then 1 times 3, which is 3. Okay, so adding together, we've got 10,000. What's the daisy? We've got 1,500. We've got 600. We've got 90, 50 and 3. So adding together we're going to have 3, this one here is going to be 14, 6 and 5 is 11, plus 1 is 12, 1 plus 0 is 1, plus the 1 is 2, and then 1. So my final answer is 12,243. Okay, so long multiplication can be boiled down to 2 strategies. If your number can be split up into something that can be easily split up, then split it up. Okay, for example, if I were to times by 90, I would just times by 10, then times it by 9. If I were to times it by 91, then I would consider looking at my grid method idea. Okay, so we're kind of always wanting to try and make our lives as straightforward as possible. So because we could split 900 up in here to 109, then we could go ahead. But when we can't split them up, we can use our grid method, work out the 4 sections and add them together, or in the last example, the 6 sections and add them together. Hopefully that was helpful. Thank you very much.